Lower Copley was a small, peaceful village, with its ancient church, old world inn, and gossiping villagers. On the night of May 17th, its peace was abruptly shattered, and the inhabitants of Woodcroft Manor were never the same again.
Well, we'd better get them in and see what they have to say. Obviously one of them did it.
Yes, sir.
Well, I might as well take them in order of age. Mr. Edward Russell's the eldest. Send him in, will you? I want to see if you can get a pot of tea made. And then Olive. And then Richard. I wonder. Oh, Mr. Edward Russell.
Who the hell do you think I am?
Well, the son of the late Mrs. Russell.
What is this, Inspector? You've got no right to question me like this.
Well, I take it that you'd like to see the murder of court, Mr. Russell?
Of course, what a stupid question.
Well, with your cooperation, we stand a better chance of achieving what we both want.
Oh, very well. What do you want to know? But for God's sake, make it brief.
Well, that's exactly Mr. Russell. And now, where were you between the hours of 8 and 10 last night?
8 and 10. I really can't be sure.
You've a very bad memory, Mr. Russell.
Yes, but that's not an offence, is it?
Well, perhaps we can help you. Do you remember who you were with last night?
Well, by myself most of the evening.
Not here, in fact.
Mainly. I did go out for a drink, but I usually do. Helps me to sleep better.
Well, yes, and I often do the same. Do you remember perhaps what time you left the house?
About 8ish, I think.
I see. And did you see anyone acting suspiciously?
Not at all. That's not unusual. Very isolated around here.
Yes, so I understand. Oh, that's what I've been waiting for.
Shall I pause, sir?
No, thank you. Morris will see to that. Thank you. A cup of tea, Mr. Russell?
No, thank you. I've got quite a lot of writing to do.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right. Well, I think you can go now, Mr. Russell. Don't go for it too far without informing us. And
Yes.
I might send your brother Richard in, please.
Very well.
That's all yours, Morris. You're Mr. Richard Russell.
I am.
I understand you went to Stag and Huntsman last night.
Yes. All I wish is that Linda had agreed to come with us like we asked.
Yes, well, I understand your feelings, Mr. Russell. Were you at the club all evening?
Surely you're not accusing me of murdering Linda, Inspector?
No, we're not accusing anyone, Mr. Russell, and we may want to get the record straight. Now, come along, sir. Were you at the club all evening?
Well, actually, I left to get petrol.
I see. Well, how long did that take?
A few minutes. About 15 at the most.
Mm-hmm. And what garage did you use?
Well, surely you must be joking, Inspector. There's only one garage in this godforsaken spot.
I see. Well, I think that's all for the present, Mr. Russell. Would you mind sending Thomas Pryor in, please?
Very well.
Good evening, Mr. Pryor.
Good evening, Inspector.
Now, I wonder if you can help us.
I certainly hope so, Inspector, but this dreadful business has upset me that I don't know where I am, and that's the truth.
Well, I understand, sir. Now, I believe that you and Edward and Richard Russell went out together last night for a drink.
Well, that was the idea, but most of the evening I seemed to be on my own.
Oh? How was that, sir?
While the others were coming and going all the time.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Now, tell me about Edward Russell.
Why, you know his type, Inspector. I imagine he'd gone off with one of his lady friends from the village.
So he wasn't with it?
Well, I guess I'm sorry, I'm a bit vague. It's a shock. He was gone about half an hour, perhaps 3/4, somewhere 9 to half
Oh,
past.
I see. All right, thank you, Mr. Pryor. Now, what about Richard Russell?
Well, let me see. Yes, he went about the same time.
I understand he went to petrol.
Well, it took him an awful long time. The garage is only 100 yards along the street from the pub, and he was gone at least 3/4 of an hour.
So both Edward and Richard Russell were out at the same time. Do you think they were out together?
Oh, I doubt it. There's no love lost between those two.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pryor. You've been most helpful. Sure, we should do our utmost to catch the murderer. By the way, would you send young George in, please?
Yes, Inspector.
He's standing up well under the strain, sir.
Yes, he's taken it very well, considering he's lost his only daughter.
His only daughter, is it? His only child?
Yes,
Oh,
great
very
job.
bad. Most unfortunate.
Mother says you've not got to worry me.
There's no need to worry, son. Just sit down and relax. And what sort of evening did you have last night?
Not too bad. I got lost and I soon found my way again.
Where was this?
In the wood.
You see, what were you doing in the woods?
I was sitting at home with Mother and Auntie Olive, and suddenly my head began to ache. And Mother said to go for a walk to get some fresh air.
Did you see or hear anyone?
It was getting dark, but I did hear a man's voice.
Was it a voice that you knew?
I thought it sounded like Uncle Edward.
Well, all right, son. You can go now. Ask your Uncle Edward to come in again.
What the hell are you playing at? There's enough trouble in this house without you adding to it. I've told you all I know.
I've reason to believe that you failed to present us with all the facts.
What do you think I am, a ruddy liar?
Well, I'm not mincing my words. We knew you were in the woods last night.
That he was. Well, what I'm going to tell you now, Inspector, you must keep from the family. I was out with a bit of spare last night. She's a barmaid from the Stag and Huntsman.
Well, why the hell didn't you tell us this in the first place? It's people like you that make our job what it is.
Well, I'm sorry about this, Inspector, but you must appreciate the fact that I've got to keep these weaknesses away from the family.
Well, I realise this, Mr. Russell. But where murder is involved, we must have the full story. Well, fair enough. You can go now.
Hey, Inspector, he's a queer character.
Yes, he is that.
Now he admits being with a bird in the woods. Why did he admit that in the first place? I wouldn't trust him if I could throw him.
Yes, I agree. And his latest statement puts him in the right area at the right time.
For all we know, the bird might be in it with him.
Yes. And according to Pryor's statement, this might well be true. Then we got trouble with Richard Russell's story.
Yes, I wondered about that too.
I think we better have him in now and get his explanation.
Well, no, sir, I'll get him. Mr. Russell, will you step in here, please? Take a seat, please.
Yes. You wanted to see me, Inspector?
Yes, please, Mr. Russell. And sorry to bother you again.
That's all right.
Just a small point we want cleared up.
Yes.
In your previous statement, you say your trip to the garage for petrol took approximately 15 minutes.
That's right.
Well, you have evidence that you were absent from the garage, from the pub, at least 45 minutes. Can you account for the other 30 minutes?
Well, as a matter of fact, I can. I returned to the Stag and Huntsman within 15 minutes, but as I entered the car park, I noticed I'd got a flat tire at the rear.
Puncture?
Yes. And by the time I'd messed about in the dark, changed the wheel and found the tools and whatnot, it could well have accounted for the other 30 minutes. I didn't mention it before because, as I said, I was only away from the pub for 15 minutes.
I see. Well, all right. Thank you for clearing up that point, Mr. Russell. You're quite free to go.
Righto, Inspector.
What do you make of that?
Yes. I shall have to check it on certainty.
You know, he reckons he had a punch.
Well, what do you make of that? No matches.
I guess it's some, sir. On the maid. There's a few for you, sir.
Ah, thank you. Well, I didn't know about that puncture. We shall have to get that checked. You could see to that as soon as we get cleared up here.
Yes, I'll do that, sir, because it seems pretty obvious that it's an inside job. Only the family knew that Linda Pryor would go to visit this old lady at unusual time.
Oh, yes. Well, Mrs. Hogarth. That's the old lady that lives on the edge of the wood. Well, Linda normally visited her on Sunday morning, but this time, owing to the birthday party, she decided to take her over some birthday cake.
What is Mrs. Hogarth and Linda?
Well, no relation, but I understand she looked after her as a toddler. And she's been a friend of the family ever since.
According to local gossip, Linda was due to inherit a fortune on her 21st birthday.
Yes, yes.
But as her birthday wasn't until Sunday, this alters the will.
Yes, that's true, yes.
Do you know who gets the money now?
Oh, yes. Yes, I know who's getting the money. But before we do anything drastic, let's take the family story right from the beginning.
Yes, right you are, sir.
So too, dear. But remember, Grandma has been very ill this last month, and tonight's attack seems to be serious.
It's a pity that he couldn't have got here sooner.
He was out when I phoned, you know, but he came over as soon as he returned. I think I can hear him coming now. Yes, I think I can.
Somebody's trying.
There he is.
It's bad news, I'm afraid, Mrs. Pryor.
Poor Mother.
Oh dear, I didn't expect it.
Her heart let her down, you know.
Oh, thank you very much for all the trouble that you've taken. I suppose I should have to go and make the necessary arrangements.
Goodbye, Mr. Pryor. I'll send this certificate over in the morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oliver. Goodbye.
talk business over with then?
Don't be so crude, Edward. Mother's been good to you in the past and you've never appreciated it.
You can't keep harping on the past. It's a future you've got to think of. Anyway, what time's the solicitor arriving?
Oh, here, big church.
I suppose you're all wondering what you've been left. Oh well, I know I was never Mother's favourite, but I am the eldest.
Now it seems to me, Edward, that you are the most concerned one of the lot. Whatever Mother decided in her will, you can rest assured she's got the family's welfare at heart. And you know it.
Why not finish your lunch and stop bickering?
All right.
That won't help matters.
Oh, I've just remembered, Mummy. I've got to pay on Mrs. Hogarth a visit today.
Well, you haven't had time, have you, dear? What with the funeral and everything? I know what. Pop over when the solicitor's gone.
Yes, I could do that. I wouldn't want to miss my weekly visit.
Olive, nice piece of ham.
Yes, you have to have something simple on occasions like these.
Pass the plates, sir. Marge and I give Olive a hand with the washing up.
I'll have a drink of water.
Hey, George.
Yeah. Blew off in Cambridge just pulled into the drive. Is that the solicitor?
Yes, that's him coming. We better get the table clear.
Now listen, don't speak until you're spoken to. When the solicitor comes in, you remain perfectly still and be quiet. Now, Marge, keep your eye on him. Hurry up, he's finished. All right, Olive, I'll give you a hand.
Yes, fine.
He's finished.
All right.
That solicitor's a long time. Well, his car's outside. Yeah.
Here's the solicitor, Mr. Pigott, Mum.
Thank you, Gladys. Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Pigott.
afternoon.
Edward, would you mind? Do sit down.
Thank you.
Would you care for a cup of tea?
No, thanks, Mrs. Pratt. I'd rather get on with the business, if you don't mind.
Just as you wish.
Would everybody be seated, please?
Thank you.
This is the last will and testament of me, Elizabeth Emily Russell, of Woodcroft Manor, Lower Copley, in the county of Sussex. Made this 13th day of January, in the year of our Lord, 1962. I hereby revoke all wills made by me at any time heretofore. I appoint Messrs. Pigott and Briggs, solicitors at law, to be my executor, and direct that all my debts and funeral expenses shall be paid as soon as conveniently may be after my decease. I give and bequeath unto John Mason, my gardener, the sum of £50, to my cook, Miss Doris Gray, the sum of £50, to Edward, my elder son, whom I have foolishly allowed to lead an irresponsible life, I leave my best wishes and trust he will live within his adequate allowance.
No, it can't be right. It can't be right.
Quiet, please. I won't have any interruptions.
Can't be right.
To my dear daughter Olive, I leave my house and furnishings at Brighton. To Richard, my second son, I bequeath my motor cars, bonds in trust and gardening tools. To my sweet and faithful granddaughter Linda, I leave the rest of my estates, including Woodcroft Manor and effects, and everything that I can give or dispose of, including my personal fortune of £120,000. I bequeath absolutely this to be placed in trust until she attains the age of 21. This bequest will revert to my grandson George in the event of her demise prior to attaining her majority. What?
Mother always thought the world of Linda, didn't she?
Yeah,
Charles?
yeah.
Lovely.
Very nice. Very nice.
Granny always loved you.
I, being of sound mind and understanding, signed Elizabeth E. Russell, dated this 30th day of January in the year of our Lord, 1962, signed and acknowledged by the said Elizabeth Emily Russell, and as for her last will, in the presence of us present at the same time, who in her presence and at her request and in the presence of each other have hereto subscribed our names as witnesses. R. Roberts and Margaret T. Smith.
Gladys?
Well, that's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. I shall shortly be in touch with you. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye. Will you see
Goodbye.
Mr. Piggott out, please?
Yes, ma'am. This way, sir.
Thank you.
Well, this is bloody monstrous. She must have been crackers or somebody poisoned her mind. I'll fight it in the eyes through tooth and nail. The eyes caught in the land. How could she leave to that milksop Linda? It's all mine by rights.
Yours? That's rich. I was always her favourite, wasn't I, Marge? You know as well as I do, Edward, that Mother hated the sight of you. The money should be mine.
Oh, for God's sake, shut up. I'm warning you, Linda. You haven't got your money yet, and if I have my way, you never will.
Oh, Mummy, why is everybody so horrid? How could he be so mean?
You've done nothing wrong, dear. I think you'd better leave us.
Oh, we can take a hint, thank you very much. We don't want to stay. Marge, come on and bring that idiot with you. I'm fed up here.
Come on, George.
Come on, George.
Don't sit there gaping.
Take him out, Marge.
What with you and him over there, I shall have a nervous breakdown.
Now, don't get upset. Just take it.
Darling, this is going to change the whole of your life.
Maybe so, Daddy, but I can't help thinking of what Uncle Edward's just said.
Never mind. I think we need a drink, Olive.
Yes, we'll have a drink, Tom. There we are, dear. Right, that enough?
I think.
Cheers.
Mum and I would like to drink to your 21st birthday. You've only 2 weeks to wait.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good morning, Mummy.
Good morning, dear. Did you sleep well?
Not very well, Mummy. I can't help thinking about Uncle Edward and what he said.
Oh, forget about him. Are you going to visit Mrs. Hogarth today?
Yes, of course. I shall have to tell her it's my 21st birthday Sunday week.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. As you're having the party the day before the actual birthday, you can pop out during the party, probably before tea.
Yes, I'll take her over some birthday cake.
Anybody seen the Sunday papers?
The maid said it hasn't arrived yet. She'll bring it in when it comes.
You only live half a mile from here, and our Sunday papers are always on time. By the way, have you seen Edward this morning?
Yes, he's sulking, up in his room, like a bear with a sore head.
Well, let's go home before lunch. I can't face another session with him.
Just as you say, dear. But wait until Linda returns from Mrs. Hogarth.
If you're going home early, I could pop over to Mrs. Hogarth's now.
Yes, the sooner the better. This place gives me the creeps.
Linda?
Yes?
Are you going to take your bag, dear?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
How about a kiss then, Gladys?
Oh, please, Mr. Edwards, she'll get found out one of these days. Anyway, I'll be busy preparing the table for Linda's birthday. The guests will be here soon.
Ah, come on, old girl. Last. Well, that bound to be Richard. It is. He's got that shower George with him.
Hello, Edward. Is that your new car out in the drive?
Of course it's mine.
A new one, eh, Edward? How big's the old overdraft now?
That's none of your business. I'll manage my own affairs.
Do you want to go upstairs before tea?
No.
What time is tea, Edward?
Linda's helping the maid. I believe she said 4:30.
What time is it now, Dick?
I make it 15:15. Ah! That sounds like Tom and Olive. I'll go and have a look.
Oh!
Right.
What's the
God.
matter? Has he got another turn?
Yes.
See to him. See to him, Marge.
He's all right now. Oh, I do hope he's going to be all right during the party and while we're having tea.
Oh, I shouldn't worry. He'll be all right.
Now listen, George. Uncle Tom and Auntie Olive are coming, and I want you to be a good boy. And if you are a good boy while you're having tea, then listen, I'll give you some jelly.
Jelly?
Marge?
Yes.
Marge.
Yes.
It is then.
Not before time.
Hello, everyone. Are we on time?
Are you on time?
Couldn't drag Tom away from wrestling.
You ought to be on time. You only live round the corner. We've been held up in traffic jams all the way. What with George and the weather, I was glad to get here.
Yes, it can be trying, Marge. What about a cup of...
Hello, everyone. So pleased to see you all. I must thank you for my lovely card.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Well, I don't know what you're all singing about. She's not 21 until tomorrow, and a lot can happen in 24 hours.
Why not be happy and miserable, old devil? What difference does one day make?
Will you please take your place, Mr. Tea is being served?
All right, lovely. Right. Here, Marge, you better sit in. Now keep your eye on it.
Yes, I will.
Because,
Yay!
Marge, watching you.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll go and get another seat.
Looks very nice, isn't it?
Yay!
Not there, stupid, on there. That's it. Now, buy a hotel on Mayfair. Take these, on there. Now give the bank 200, 2 of those.
Thanks.
That's it.
Yep.
Now I believe it's Edward's go.
Sit down, George.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'm damned.
Now, Edward, that's going to cost you 2,000. Now, I don't think you can pay.
Well, you've won again, George. Here. Take that.
That's it.
And the property as well.
Yeah,
It wasn't for your old man, who wouldn't have stood a chance.
I don't see what you're arguing about. It's a silly game anyway. I don't understand it.
I quite enjoyed it. We've been playing it for an hour and a half. The time I went to see Mr. Hogarth.
Don't be long, dear. It'll soon be getting dark.
I'm expecting a telephone call from Valerie about the tennis next week.
Wacko, gorgeous Gussie in short skirts. They were the days.
Who's for a drop of the hard stuff?
Oh, good idea, Thomas. Where's it to be?
Well, what about the Stag and Huntsman? I'll run you down in the car.
While you're sorting it out, I'll be off. Bye, Mum.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget your coat.
No.
Bye, Linda.
Bye,
Is it
Linda.
worth taking the car, Richard? It's only
Well-
5 minutes walk.
Yeah, I know, but the point is, Thomas, I do want some petrol for the morning.
Well, that's it then. Let's buzz off.
Okay? Right.
Bye-bye then.
Well, we shan't be very long.
Right here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We clear the board up.
Yeah, well, they've gone make them clear the board.
Look, Mum, on that hotel.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what you want.
So look,
let's
all right, dear. Give it to me.
Let's
Take
have
them up.
Auntie, my Auntie Olive pick the money up.
Give it to me, dear.
Put it in the box.
Thank you. And the houses.
Margaret, will you help me make a list of names so we can send them all thank you cards?
Yes, we may as well. There's nothing else to do.
Are they beautiful?
It's a very pretty card.
That one's from America. And that
Oh,
one.
Molly. Headache.
Can I get him anything?
Oh, it's all right.
Headache. Oh,
It's one of his heads. Go for a walk in the fresh air, George.
where's my nose?
Here it is, dear.
Headache.
Oh, just a minute. Before you go, you have a pill. Olive, can you get me the box of pills from my handbag, please?
Yes, dear.
Oh, pill to make your head better.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, George.
Here's a pill to make your headache better. There we are. Now go for a walk in the fresh air.
Bye-bye, Molly.
Bye-bye, dear. That's the only thing that does him any good.
Poor George. Will he ever be able to do something for him?
I'm afraid not. He'll have to live with it for the rest of his life. Doctors have told me that if he should ever become violent, they'll have to put him away for good.
It's a terrible thing for a young boy. Anyway, don't let's get morbid. Let's get on with the cards.
All right. There are some pretty ones.
Aren't they lovely? I'll give you a pen, dear. No, I'll have to send you emails. Here's a paper. Aren't they beautiful?
There are some lovely cards. The last card.
My goodness, Marjorie. Look at the time. 9:30 and Linda isn't back yet. She's never been late before.
Oh, that might be.
Oh, that'll be Linda now. Lower Cockley, 247. Oh, hello, Valerie. I'm terribly worried about Linda. Pardon? No, she promised to be back. Yes? Yes? No. All right, I'll get her to ring you when she comes in. Mrs. Hogarth's, yes. Bye-bye. That was Valerie. I'm terribly worried.
Why not phone Mrs. Hogarth?
Oh, yes, I'll do that now. Oh, hello, Mrs. Hogarth. Is Linda there? Thank you.
No?
Something's happened, Marjorie. She left a half an hour ago.
I should ring the police and let them know.
Yes, I'll do that. I'll ring the police. Police. Operator, get me the police, please.
What's the matter then, Marge? Looks like you've seen a ghost.
Oh, am I glad to see you back.
Well, what's wrong then?
Olive's terribly worried about Linda.
Good Lord, isn't she back yet?
Tom, I'm so worried. Linda left Mrs. Hogarth at 9 o'clock. She's been home ages ago.
Oh, I shouldn't worry, old girl. She's looking after herself.
What have you done about it?
I've already phoned the police just before you came in. She's never been.
Well, if that's the police, they're jolly quick.
Jolly quick, seriously.
Oh, it might be Linda.
Right, solve all the problems if it is.
It might be, it could be.
Yeah.
Where have you been? Look at you.
Who's this?
Oh, it's not Linda, it's
Good
George.
George. Marge, look at this.
Dear, good
Good
Lord.
heavens above.
Where have you been to get yourself in such a state? And just look at your shoes. Dear, oh dear.
Let's all walk.
You couldn't get in a state like that walking. What the hell have you been up to?
I lost my yo-yo and I fell in a ditch looking for it. Headache's better. Headache's better.
Marge, take him upstairs.
Headache's better.
Put him in the bath.
Headache's
Only
better.
get him out of my sight.
Headache's
I'm
better.
fed to the teeth with him.
Come on, let's get
Mummy,
upstairs.
Mummy,
and
shall I
let's
wash
get
my
dressed.
face?
Yes, come
I
on.
think
get
I have
up
the
there.
police thing.
Please?
Tom, if that's the police, you better come with me.
That's all we
Oh
need.
dear. Well, I suppose we can expect the place now crowded with police.
Yeah, asking damn fool questions. I'm not going to have them prying into my private affairs, damned if I will.
I don't blame you. Well, I'll go up and see what that shower's got himself into.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Detective Inspector Bedell. This is Sergeant Morris.
Good evening, Sergeant.
We've come to confirm a few details. I believe you telephoned the station earlier.
Yes, I did.
About your daughter.
Yes.
Can you tell me, please, Mrs. Pryor, what she was wearing?
Yes, he was wearing a white raincoat and carried a white handbag. I can't remember what else she had on.
I see. And you say that she would have come through the woods?
Yes. She's never been so late.
Well, I'm afraid in that case, Mrs. Pryor, it's a very sad news for you.
Boy, what's
No.
happened, Inspector?
Well, I'm afraid it's the worst of news, Mrs. Pryor.
She isn't dead.
I'm afraid she is, Mrs. Pryor.
I'll get some water, Sergeant.
Right, right. Come on, Mr. Pryor.
So that's the way it was. Which one was it? Who did it?
Well, I agree with you. Yeah, I think it must be one of the family.
Would you like another cup of tea, sir?
Ah, yes, please, miss. Miss, I think you're the very person. You've given me an idea. Oh, we should need your cooperation, though. But I think, first of all, perhaps you'd better bring Mr. and Mrs. Pryor in, please.
Sir.
You have no idea, sir?
Yes, I think we could use this girl, and with a bit of luck, we might bring it off.
I see.
Oh, sit down, Mrs. Pryor. We're going to do something rather drastic, for which we should need your cooperation.
I'll leave everything to you, Inspector.
What we have to do is to bring the culprit out into the open, to make him reveal himself. And I intend to announce that an eyewitness to the murder has been found. That's Eunice.
I don't mind helping, Inspector, but will it be dangerous?
No, we shall look after you. I should want you to go upstairs and lie on Mrs. Pryor's bed. That's all right with you, Mrs. Pryor? Right, and if you go upstairs, lie on the bed completely covered. And mind you, not a word of this to anyone.
But, Mr. Inspector...
Don't worry, miss, don't worry. We should look after you, all right?
I'll do my best, sir.
Oh, and Morris, I shall need to see the rest of the family. I think probably in the other room will be better.
That's all right.
I hope you know what you're doing, Inspector. Will young Gladys be all right up there?
Oh, yes. You can leave it to me, sir. I'm not in the habit of taking chances.
I'll Sergeant Morris to bring everyone in here, dear.
Yes, that'll be a lot better in here for them.
You want us, Inspector?
Yes, please, Mr. Russell. If you'd like to sit along here somewhere.
What is all this, Inspector? I'm getting fed up of asking damn full questions.
I'll explain it all in a moment, Mr. Russell. Now, is the one to come?
Mrs. Russell, she's just changed her dress. You won't be a moment.
I see.
Ah, here she is.
Oh, I'm so sorry to keep you waiting, Inspector. I had to change my dress. I got so dirty. I kept washing
That's
George.
all right. Right. Now, something has occurred which has changed the whole aspect of the case. An eyewitness to the murder has been found. She's in a severe state of shock at the moment. Yes, she.
A woman? Ah, a woman. Then we all know who that must be, don't we?
I was in the woods last night, Mummy. I was in the woods. I heard a man's voice.
Yeah, for God's sake, keep him quiet.
Keep him quiet. Be quiet, George. Carry on, Inspector.
Now, I haven't been able to question the eyewitness yet. She's resting upstairs at the moment, and it's most important that she is not disturbed. Now, Sergeant Morris here has to go down in the woods to see the police surgeon to ascertain the time of death. I have to return to the station where a suspect has been picked up. I'm going to question him. But this won't take too long. I'll be back very shortly. But it is most important that the eyewitness is not disturbed. Right, we'll go now, Morris.
That's all right.
Well, thank you very much, Inspector.
Thank you. I'll be about half an hour, so.
All right, Inspector.
Marge,
Yeah.
who do you know that is?
Well, can't you guess?
Not her.
Yes, sure.
Oh, dear.
Can't be anybody else, can it?
Uh-huh.
Tell the cat and the constable outside to take the car up the road and to come back when we call him. That's right, mate. Upstairs now then.
stay like this?
Well, not much longer, I hope.
This is giving me the jitters.
Yes, well, time's running short, Tom, so he's got to act quickly. When he does, we'll be waiting for him. Don't forget.
Shh.
Yes, well, all right, lay down and be quiet.
I did it for George. If Mother had done the right thing, this need never have happened.
I must warn you, Russell, the charge is murder, and anything you say will be taken down and used in evidence.
Sorry now, sir.
Yes, taken off there in the station and booking. Use my car.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's all right then, Gladys. Sorry you had to go through this, but we had to have concrete evidence. It'll be all right now. Come on, it's all right.
Richard! I can't believe it was Richard. All right?
I'll be all right in a moment.
Come along, I'll make you a nice cup of tea, Gladys. Put your shoes on.
Thank you.
All right, dear. Never mind. Come along.
Well, we were fairly certain it was Richard. He had made a statement inferring he had a puncture, and his spare tire was still inflated.
Well, thanks to you, Inspector, this horrible business is now over.
Well, I have to go down the station now, so I'll bid you both good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Miss Ferraro. Good night, Miss.